clawing our way out of our graves to bring you your weekly dose of chaos and darkness. I'm Rexy.
And I'm Lillie. And this is the Morning Report.
Hey, Mourners!
Hello. Ugh. Hi.
Hi, Lillie.
Look, I let the intrusive thought win with the Oreos, okay? I bit one and it
tried
was
one of the
good.
cookies. Ew, no. No, stale Oreos are sad.
Oh, that's great. You were like, I'm going to hit record. And I was like, I'm going to try this out real quick. So, we have a small little extra blurb from for our episode from last week about the Pelican Girls and the Casket Girls of New Orleans. You know what? Never mind. We don't, because Leo's being mean and I'm not going to read it just because he told me to. So, never mind.
Leo, do you need to be smudged?
Leo's the reason you're not getting the whole information, so...
Blame Leo.
You know what? I'm not doing this for you, Leo. I'm doing it for me and the fans, okay? So, nothing. So, later in, so I guess in 1978, two paranormal investigators set up camp in the convent's courtyard. They had cameras filming the third floor windows. At some point, the cameras malfunctioned. The couple fell asleep and were supposedly found dead, drained of blood, the next morning on the steps of St. Mary's Church.
Vampires! It's
for
vampires!
Sure. It's 110% vampires.
Oh my god, it's vampires.
I mean, yeah, it's vampires. Like, there's no other.
Nope. It's definitely vampires. Third floor vampires.
That's a t-shirt.
The third floor vampires?
That's a rock band.
The third floor vampires. There we go. There we go. I have a news story for you.
Do it.
Courtesy of Daryl. And this is coming from 6abc.com. And it was written, October 23rd. It was written today. Well, today being like the day we record, I guess. When this comes out, it'll be Halloween. But, happy Halloween. Totally forgot. When this comes out, it's gonna be happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yay. Okay, so back to the story. The headline is very cool. This South Jersey town officially changes its name to Monsterville every October. And I love it. So this is from Merchantville, New Jersey. Merchantville is a small town that makes Halloween a big deal. There is an ordinance on the books that officially changes the name of the town to Monsterville every year for the month of October. Halloween events fill the town calendar, and everyone from the residents to the mayor gets involved. House decorations are over the top as homes compete to win the golden broomstick. Children attend spooky story time every week, and people who participate in the Zombie Run 5K tend to do the run in costume. New this year is a costume ball for adults, and trick-or-treaters from neighboring towns join residents to hit the town on Halloween when Merchantville closes the streets to vehicles for the big night. Like, they just fucking shut the town down. We need to go there for Halloween next year.
Yeah, we do.
Or at least sometime during the month of October, apparently. Yeah, that's rad.
Okay, so, because I'm nosy, I pulled up the calendar for Monsterville. Spooky time is every Friday at 6 p.m., starting on the 13th. Started on the 13th. On the 14th was the Monster Mash Bash. For the eclipse, they did a Shop Monsterville Drink and Donate.
That's cool. Okay.
Fundraiser. There's on the 20th was a school, Merchantville School Haunted House. And then on Saturday the 21st was Aradia's Mystery and Magic Street Fair.
It sounds so fun.
And then on the 27th, they're doing downtown trick-or-treating and spooky story time. On the 28th is the zombie run, and then there's a music festival. And then on the 31st, they are doing actual trick-or-treating for Halloween.
That's so cool.
But, so, also on the website, like the news, the top news, they want you to vote for your favorite pumpkin decorations in the contest. They have released the Haunts of Monsterville map. There's an employment opportunity. They need police.
Oh, because they shut all the streets down, probably for,
Yeah. And then in September, there was a town-wide yard sale. This is apparently the place that I need to live in. I want a town-wide yard sale.
I think we're moving to New Jersey.
I think we're moving to New Jersey. And they do water bill assistance. You can pay your bills online.
Hey.
Like, I'm very excited.
You're just like researching moving to the town now. How about, I have an idea. Wait to do any more research until after you read me whatever our episode is for this week.
I'm much more excited about moving to Merchant.
Monsterville. It's October. Monsterville.
Monsterville. Like, how freaking... I just want to live in a small town. Like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
And that's like the perfect one.
Now that would be a fun small town. I have lived in a lot of small towns and I don't care.
I have not. I have lived here for most of it.
Never anything to do.
Yeah, I guess. All right. So, you ready for tonight's story?
Yeah.
This is the legend of the Count of Saint Germain, which leads me to believe that we are talking about more vampires.
So, is it a continuation from the first
No,
story?
this is a whole new story.
Okay.
Also in New Orleans.
Okay.
So I guess it's a part two, kind of.
Kind of like, we're still going to talk about vampires in New Orleans, but not the same.
Yes.
Okay.
So there was a man in Europe who lived in the 1700s who spoke 6 languages, was a brilliant painter, and was a virtuoso at any instrument within minutes of picking it up, and was also an expert in science, politics, philosophy, and history. He's been called an alchemist, a prophet, a sorcerer, and an immortal. As an alchemist, he claimed to turn metal into gold, stones into jewels, and even create the elixir of life. He's been spotted all over the world for thousands of years. He even called himself Cardophilus, the wandering Jew who was cursed with immortality by Jesus for throwing a stone at him on the way to his crucifixion. The Count advised kings, queens, emperors, and philosophers, was present at many significant events in European history, and also at the signing of the American Declaration of Independence. At the turn of the 1900s, a man of around 45 years old, claiming to be directly descended from the Count, showed up in New Orleans, named Jacques Saint Germain. He quickly gained a foothold in New Orleans society. At his manor at the corner of Royal and Ursuline Street in the French Quarter, he threw lavish parties and told amazing stories. Stories from history from hundreds of years prior, as if he experienced them himself. Attendees noticed Jacques never ate any of the food at his parties. He only drank the wine he kept strictly for himself.
It was blood.
It was blood. There's no other answer. I mean, we don't have to finish this. This was blood. He was another vampire. He's been around for thousands of years.
Definitely.
That's how vampires stay hidden.
Also, I think he had a street named after him in New Orleans. I think there's a Saint Germain street.
That sounds about right. I don't know. I'm just gonna make stuff up now.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
So, on a night in 1902, not long after he came to New Orleans, Jacques once again threw one of these parties. It was either during the party or afterward, when everybody had gone home, that a loud scream came from a woman on the second floor of his place. And then a woman was thrown out of the second floor window over the balcony onto the street below. She broke an ankle and her right arm when she hit the cobblestone. People walking by came to her aid and called the police. She told the cops that she hadn't been thrown from the window, but she jumped out of the window to get away from Jacques Saint Germain because he was attacking her and biting her neck.
Vampire! It was
Vampire.
supposed to be dinner.
The end, guys. We're going home. See you later.
Great story.
Vampire. The police noticed she did have blood trickling from her neck. Even so, since Jacques was well respected and powerful, yada yada, they didn't accuse him of anything or arrest him when they knocked on his door. Leo says there is a Germain Street in the Garden District.
Okay.
There you go. You were right.
I've been there a whole bunch. Been to New Orleans. I mean, I've been to New Orleans a bunch of times.
So even though they didn't arrest him, they did ask him to come down to the station the next morning to give a statement about what happened. And Jacques said he would. The next morning came and he didn't show. A couple days went by before the police decided to go collect him. When they went to this house, they found that Jacques had vanished, leaving behind everything.
Well, he's a vampire. He's got plenty of money. He can just start over.
Yeah. And in this case, everything meant a horror show. Clothes from different periods in history were drenched in blood, and carpets covered blood-stained floors. They found dozens of wine bottles, uncorking them to find them filled with blood mixed with absinthe so they wouldn't coagulate. And the woman who jumped out of the window 2 nights before was lying in Jacques' bed, dead, and completely drained of blood. Could Jacques, the Count of Saint Germain, could Jacques, can't even anymore. Could Jacques be the Count of Saint Germain, and could he still be out there hunting his next victim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course could.
100%.
It's a vampire.
Yeah.
It's a vampire.
No
That's
question.
him right there. Right there.
Yeah. That person? That's Jacques.
It could be him behind you fighting the spider. I don't know.
That might be Jacques.
Somewhere. Yeah. He's there. Somewhere out there.
He's there. Definitely.
So apparently this is just lots of stories of New Orleans vampires, and I'm very excited.
Cool. Okay.
Because now we're going to talk about the Carter brothers.
More New Orleans vampires.
New Orleans.
I'm so excited right now. Squeaked.
I love it when you squeak. I love it when you reach that level of excitement. It is quite possibly up there with asking me if I wanted to go play hopscotch outside. Yep.
I play a mean game of hopscotch.
And just because I'll never not tell this story, and I feel like if you're new here, you haven't heard it. Rexy and I both do Mandalorian costuming. They had a badass kit, and they looked badass. But then they would take their helmet off, and it would just be this like soft little glowy ball of joy.
It's this when I take the helmet off.
It's that right there, every single time. And I had said something, and they may have been a little angry with me. I don't remember exactly. And I was like, "Oh, you're so cute." And they were like, "You want to go outside?" And I was like, "You want to play hopscotch?" What
Yes,
else are
actually.
you going to do to me?
Yes, actually.
And then they were like, "Yes, that's exactly what I want to go do."
Let's do it. I'm not a fighter.
That's why you were a pilot.
Yeah.
So you could play hopscotch and nobody would make fun of you.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. Awesome. So now we're going to talk about the Carter brothers.
Okay.
New Orleans during the early 1900s was booming. It was the busiest port in the country, and it brought lots of business and plenty of jobs. Work was so easy to find in those days that the city was coined the Big Easy. Lots of disposable income made things exciting in New Orleans, which led to the creation of the Storyville district. Lots of nightclubs, the birth of jazz. It was a time of anything goes, and carefree turned into careless, And it was, of course, during this time that the Axemen of New Orleans struck fear into the hearts of the city, demanding jazz be played all over town to be spared the chop. By the end of the 1920s, all of the good times were gone with the stock market crash and the Great Depression. Everything changed almost overnight. Wanderers roamed the streets looking for work, often begging at the doors of those whose lives hadn't been destroyed, to exchange a little yard work for food. Still, New Orleans was about as hospitable as the South got in those years. It was during the Depression that po' boy sandwiches became a thing in the city as a cheap way to eat. But even cheaper was taking advantage of the wanderers and preying upon them.
Po' boys are fucking delicious, by the way.
I love a po' boy. So the year was 1932. A young panicked girl ran into the arms of a police officer. She couldn't have been more than 10 years old. You got your sage ready?
Yeah. Can we not eat children?
We were having a great time. We were having so much fun.
Now we got people attacking kids again. Like, I know.
Ropes dangled from her wrists, and both the ropes and wrists were bloody. She led them to a flat near the corner of Royal and St. Anne Street. That corner is apparently Vampire Central.
I guess so. Or they just hang out in their little area.
Yeah. And that girl claimed that it was the home of two brothers, John and Wayne Carter. The brothers promised her a hot meal if she did some laundry for them. She followed them inside, and immediately they grabbed her and tied her to a chair. As the police followed her inside, the girl told them that the brothers were at work, so there wasn't any danger that she knew of. The police broke into the apartment and found 4 captives of different ages tied to chairs, the same way as the girl was. The wrists of all the people had been cut and bandaged, and they said the brothers were drinking their blood and slowly draining them. The people were taken to the hospital, and then the cops waited at the apartment to ambush the brothers when they came home from work. While waiting, they found 12 bodies wrapped in sheets with wrists slit and blood completely drained, hidden inside closets, under their beds, and up in the loft. When the brothers came home, it took 8 officers to subdue and arrest them.
8! 8.
For 2 people. That's like 4 people taken. That's like 401 situation.
Yeah.
I don't like it. According to the story, they readily admitted they were vampires and they had been preying on the city for a long time. They asked to be executed or else they would continue feeding on people. They were still given a trial, and as they were unable to convince the jury that they were the undead, the brothers were found guilty and sentenced to death. They were hanged and laid to rest in the Carter family vault in New Orleans. On the way to the cemetery, just in case they were actually vampires, the family zigged and zagged and took the long way to the cemetery so the vampires would be confused and wouldn't be able to find their way back home. They believed that vampires wanted the blood of a family member the most. Years later, when another of their family died and was being placed in the vault, John and Wayne Carter were nowhere to be found. The family believes they faked their deaths and are out there still murdering. Since their execution, 20 sightings of men matching their description have been reported.
Fucking 20?
Yeah, how do you see? Right. Are they dead or are they not?
Should have stabbed them, not hung them. Gotta get vampires with a stake, not a rope.
Since their execution, 20 sightings of men matching their description have been reported, and it's said that their favorite time to come out is during Mardi Gras, where they jump from balcony to balcony in the French Quarter. Legend has it that in order for someone to turn into a vampire, one must be fed upon 7 times and live. One of the Carter brothers' 4 survivors went on to feast on blood himself. A diary of a man named Philippe was found on Bourbon Street, found in a Bourbon Street apartment, detailing his crazed descent into bloodlust, plus the capture and draining of 32 victims.
32. Wow.
Yeah. So that's the end of the Carter brothers story.
Yeah.
I would also like to add that New Orleans does have a sizable population that identifies as vampire. They drink blood and actually feel. Hold on, that's a hard thing. They actually feel ill if they don't. They get the blood from donors and they only consume small quantities, usually by making a small nick in someone's back with a scalpel. Other vampires get their energy through just physical touch, so a lot of them do massage therapy.
That makes sense.
Wait a minute.
Listen, I go out in the sunshine all the time.
Do you? Do you? No,
Yeah.
So the New Orleans Vampire Association, or NOVA. You can't hide from me, Rexy.
That's amazing.
Does a lot of charitable work in New Orleans, feeding on the homeless, less fortunate on major holidays.
Oh, okay. That's
Leo
fucking
agrees with me. He's
Leo,
never
you
seen Rex in the
seen
sun.
me in the sun. Dummy, you've been on almost every hiking trip I've ever been on.
Were they cloudy days?
The sun still exists in cloudy days.
Maybe
Vampires
you're
can't
like
go
a
out in the
Twilight
clouds.
vampire and you just sparkle.
Oh, and that I would like to sparkle. That would be cool. I wouldn't have to like buy glitter anymore.
This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
So Leo also mentioned in the chat that corner that you were talking about where you're like, this is just Vampire Central. He said that the corner has the Boutique de Vampire and the New Orleans Vampire Cafe. And we've been to both of those places.
See,
That
Leo's
Boutique de
never been
Vampire is one of my favorite places in the city. It's just full of really cool stuff and very rad people.
Leo's never been hiking with you except on Moonlit Heights.
Leo is a liar.
That's
Liar,
exactly what
liar,
a vampire would say.
Shorts on fire.
That is exactly what a vampire would say.
Why are you believing Leo all of a sudden? What the fuck happened here?
I'm just saying, you do massage therapy. Your dog's name is Nova. Just say it. It's all there.
You know, I'd take it. I think it'd be fun.
I'm just like, why are you fighting him so hard?
Yep, I want to be a vampire. It'd be rad. I want to live long enough to be really good at all kinds of stuff. I get to see all kinds of stuff. Yep.
You and Steve, man, I have no desire. No desire whatsoever.
Yeah?
None.
I want to do so much.
I want to live my 80, 90 years and then call it a quits.
I just don't think it's enough time. I don't want to live like forever, but I want to live long enough to like really travel extensively, you know?
No. I want to live my 80 or 90 years. That's all I want. That's all I need. I'm sure that'll change when I hit that limit and I'm like 90 years old. I'm like, I just need 10 more years.
There's still shit I gotta do.
But no, I've done everything. Well, I haven't done everything I wanted to do. But like, all I wanted to do was be a mom, and I did that. And so I could, for myself, die happy tomorrow. It'd be really sad because I'd be leaving 2 small children alone.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You know, I've gotten what I want out of life. Now I just gotta sit around and wait for grandkids.
Another 50 years or so.
Yeah. Well, that's not 50 years for grandkids. Please, no thank you.
No, till you're dead. Another 50 or 60 years.
Oh, yeah. Another
Yeah.
50. Oh, I'll take 65.
That'll put you at what?
At 100.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take
That's
it.
pretty good. Yeah. 100 would be good as long as it's a good 100. You know, like, I don't want to be trapped in, like, inside my own brain in a body that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's gross.
I don't want that.
No, I met somebody whose dad was like 98 and like still drove and like still lived fucking life. And I was like, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Yes.
I don't want to be a 98-year-old that only sees its bed and like the living room. Like, I don't want that.
Because what's the point of that, right? Like,
yeah.
I want a life and I want to live it. And I want to be done when I can't. This was a good
So
episode.
that got
This was a lot
weirdly
of fun.
depressing.
We are the morning report.
we were like, Rexy's the vampire. Oh, we're gonna die.
Yeah. Speaking of gonna die, my computer is gonna die in 13 minutes.
No. I don't have anything else to say though.
I don't either. Except maybe this has been the morning report.
The morning report.
And happy Halloween one more time.
Happy
we hope you guys.
Halloween.
Yes, we hope it is amazing and fun, or you do whatever the fuck you want to do and have a really good happy Halloween.
This is my warning for parties. Don't subtract from the population. Don't add to the population.
Yes.
And have fun.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. We are gonna be at the Curtis's for Halloween for their haunt.
Oh yay!
Mm-hmm. Yep. Chris has already asked. Yeah, that would be really fun. It's so fun. It just
because how I fucking lived there for 3 years and never went.
Never made it. I know.
It's
I don't
upsetting.
get it. I'm there every single year.
The first 2 years were. Yeah. The first year, we moved in 2018, and so Frey was a new baby.
Yeah.
And then
you're not gonna bring a baby through that.
2019, I'm not bringing a 1-year-old anywhere.